welcome back to Look Who's Talking Podcast, a podcast created for your voice to be heard while having hard conversations intended to spread love, encourage healing, and embrace vulnerability. I am your host, Onicia, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into this conversation. If you are new here, do me a favor and click the subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, I just want to say thank you for sticking it out with me. I want to tell you guys, I just got done eating me some church's chicken, so I'm a little, stuffed. So if y'all see me trying to suck it in, that's why. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I always tell you guys I appreciate the support and the love that you guys continually show me here at Look Who's Talking Podcast. So today we have a guest here, and I'm just so excited for her to tell you guys her story. I discovered her on TikTok, and I became interested in her from TikTok. If you like me, I'm a lover for TikTok. I go to TikTok for everything. But I actually discovered her on my For You page. I was scrolling on TikTok and I became interested in her story, and I'm so excited for her to be here today to share her story with you guys. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to go ahead and get right into the conversation, okay?
Okay, one question. What camera am I looking at?
Girl, it don't matter.
I was like,
it don't matter.
Okay, so I'm just introducing myself.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start talking about the testimony first, or just going from where I'm from?
Okay, let us introduce yourself, and then we can go straight into, we're going to talk, we're going to do an icebreaker to kind of get you warmed up, and then we're going to go into the conversation.
Let's get it. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Kalayna Walker, and I'm from Gilbert, Arizona, but I recently just finished my second semester, second year at LSU, okay? And I'm just super blessed to just even be here. I finished my rookie season being an NBA dancer for the Pelicans, and just published my first book. So we got some stuff going on, and I'm now excited to be in Louisiana still.
Yeah, I asked her, I said, girl, because I wanted to know, because when she came, she was like, I'm not really from here. And I'm like, girl, well, how did you end up, I always ask people, how did you end up in Louisiana? Like, I always be wanting to know, like, what brought you to Louisiana? So she did share that she was at LSU, and that's what brought her here. And I said, I didn't know you were professional dancers for the Pelicans.
Yes, last year, it was a whole testimony with that, but last year, I turned 18, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to just go for it. And so I went for it, being a sophomore at LSU, and made the team, being one of the youngest people on the team.
And what's your major? What's your study?
Communication, entrepreneurship.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I'm like, nah, girl, I see you. So the icebreaker, I play icebreakers with my guests because I be wanting them to kind of get warmed up and getting relaxed. Some of them be used to talking, and then for some of them, this be new. So we're going to play this or that, and you just pretty much, just prefer this or that. So let's go. Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Ooh, I'm a coffee person, but if I had to do something,
oh my God,
I'm more of a tea person.
Oh my God, see, I'm a lover for the coffee.
I can't. But if it has to be something, it will be hot for sure.
Hot coffee. Okay, so I recently started getting into iced coffee like last year. And
what?
I really do love it. I love it. So let's see, night in or night out?
Night in.
Night in.
Night in.
Red lip or nude lip?
Nude.
Nude.
I'm a nude girly now.
Nude. I'm a red girly now. Let's see. Are you more of worship or praiser?
Praise.
Praise. Okay.
But
yeah, that's all right.
I
think it depends on the mood.
So it goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
It goes hand in hand. But it's hand in hand.
It's hand in hand.
Oh.
I think it just depends on the day for me.
Yeah.
Typically, I do like worship, though, because I feel like it's more intimate.
Yeah.
It's really more intimate. So, let's see.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good I'm glad I played it. I got you stuck. Let me see. Tennis or heels?
Heels.
Heels.
Heels if I'm going somewhere. Heels if no, it's always heels, but I will have those titties in those bags.
I was trying to say,
I'm going to have it in the backpack.
Now, with me, that depends on the mood. But see, a lot of people don't believe it, but I'm more of a tomboy. A lot of people be like, I don't believe it. Or I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of on the tomboy side. And so for me, it really depends on the moods. But I would definitely put on a pair of tennis shoes. Sneakers. Let me see. One more.
What about the earring one that he was saying?
What did you say, Dre?
Like I said, necklace or earrings.
Necklace or earrings?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's definitely earrings.
Earrings.
100,000%.
I think it depends
now.
Yeah, I mean, if you got long hair, I think it just depends on the outfit. Let me say that. Yeah, I think it just depends on the outfit. And so now I want to get into a little bit of your story for my viewers. For some of them, they may be familiar with you because you was popular on TikTok. For those that are not, can we just kind of let's get into the story of Kalayna.
Okay. So at 3 years old, I was diagnosed with alopecia. But then at the age of 7 years old, so that was like 2011, I lost all my hair. All of it. So I woke up one day, it was just gone. Not even on my pillow, just gone. And so then from there, my mom, my dad, and my sister were the only people that knew that I had alopecia. And I didn't want it to be known. I was scared because my dance friends only knew me for having a big afro, and so natural hair girl, especially being the only Black girl in my dance studio in Arizona, y'all know. And so my mom wanted to keep it with our family, and so did I too. So she made customized wigs. There were no lace fronts. There was none of that for a little girl. So she took that little wig cap and then put the little bundles on the. She was making it work, and so that's what we did. And then when I started getting older, I started making my own wigs at that point. And then from, I want to say, that had to be, for 14 years, I was wearing wigs, sleeping in wigs, showering. Like, I did not take them off, ever. Nobody ever knew until that was literally last year, a couple months ago, August, really May, God told me to tell my story. And I started losing my eyebrows at this time as well. And I was like, hold on. And I was like, I think it's time. And from there, he told me to write my own book and tell my story in 100 days. And that's what I did. And so when August hit, I turned 20. But the main reason I was like, I do not want fear and shame be the reason why I don't flourish in the gifts that God gave me.
Because that would happen.
Because I always tell people, like, alopecia is such a deep-root insecurity. And I'm like, I don't want to live a synthetic life anymore. Like, I don't want to live that life anymore. I want to really be who I am. So that definitely had my turning point, too.
Do you remember the exact moment when you was like, you know what, I'm just going to get rid of the wigs. And I'm about to just say, you know what, I'm about to just tell my story and live in my truth.
God was, like, waiting for me to give him a full yes. I was like, I always go to the altar. And he would be like this, though. I'm like, anything else?
Yeah, anything else. That's how it be. It be the one thing you really don't be wanting to do.
I'm like, he's like, the hair. I said, try again. Dance, something. And no, he really wanted me to tell that story. And so I remember I was in my middle of being a Pelican dancer. And you already know we have people that do our makeup and our hair. My eyebrows started to leave, and I haven't had my eyebrows leave since I was in 8th grade. And so I didn't know any better than when they were gone. I was like, okay, this is a sign. And then, once you give God a full yes, then he's going to start taking it day by day with, like, my taste buds started to change when it came to wigs. I didn't want to wear them no more. I was like, I'm not going to even glue them no more.
And
it was like, I was like, ew, like, I don't need this. And I had to wear eyebrow tattoos. So I was like, I am tired of this. So my desire of wearing the wigs started to go.
And so what was that moment like for you? Being a Pelican dancer, and then it's like, okay, now I'm about to live in my truth. My truth is that I do, have alopecia, and now that I want to walk into my truth. Like, how was that transition for you being in that world? Because, with dance today, I always telling you always about the hair.
Right.
The hair is a necessity. So how was that for you?
I was kind of like, God, are you sure this time? Because we have customized, like, we have to wear a different hairstyle. Like, everyone has assigned wigs that we wear for the season. And so I'm like, there's just no way that I'm going to go on the court, possibly bald. There's no way that I'm going to do this. But I had to really, God kept bringing me back to this one scripture. I think it's Galatians 1:10, where it's like, if you're a servant of Christ or you're a pleaser of men. And I was like, oh. And so I was like, no, I'm a servant of you. So I'm a do whatever you want me to do.
And so that transition made it pretty
easy. But I stopped dancing from them this year, so there was never like, it's still in me. I wish I would be able to like go on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know what God has for the future.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so how was the process for you with writing the book? Because you do have a book. Yes. She have a book as well. Make sure you go get it. She has a book. Go
I
get
should
a
buy
book.
it.
Yeah.
Follow truth.
So how was that for you? Like that whole process of me, you wanting to write a book?
That is a whole testimony literally itself, because I remember sitting down, they labeled me with the IEP back in junior high, saying that I would never do an English class without like someone by me or anything. So that was a testimony itself. So when I was writing the book, I was like, God, you want me to write my own book? Like, huh? And he's like, yeah, no, write it. And I was like, but financially, like I was thinking more of that. And he's just focus on writing. And so every single time I would write a chapter, I remembered that I used to journal back in junior high school and high school. So I was just pulling from those journals about times I got bullied, times that I remember being my low point, times that I was just tired of wearing a wig. And I just pulled from that and then put it towards the book. But then I happened to run into someone at my church, and I was talking to her about just like my life, and she was like, I have a publishing company and I want to sow my seed into your life, a seed into your life. She literally did publish everything, my website, and all the things I had to worry about is just the copies and paying for that. So that was a testimony itself. Like when God tells you to do something, just walk, and he will figure out the other pieces. He's not saying do this and do that. We try to like think about
trying to figure it out, and
God,
God be already having it figured out. Literally, yeah. We do that because hey, I know I do it sometimes too.
Yeah.
So like, how was high school for you? Because I always tell people like, y'all don't take this wrong when I say this, but kids can be so cool.
Oh,
like
Lord.
They can be so cool. And I know a lot of times kids, like we suffer with bullying. I had a moment in my life where I suffered with bullying, but then when I got older, I was like, that's it. You ain't finna be bullying me no more. Now I gotta start putting a pause on you because you're not finna play with me, literally. But but we've all, kind of dealt with that, and I dealt with bullying in school, and then a lot of times, sometimes people bully you for things that you can't control.
Hello.
Like I have no control over that. So how was high school for you, like in regards to you being bullied? Like how did you deal with it?
It was more of like my whole entire like personality, everything. I'm the only, probably one of the other. No, I was the only Black girl on the pom team and the dance team, everything. And so me not wearing my natural hair was more of them calling me whitewashed. And so little did they know I had no hair, and I would actually wear my natural hair, but bullies just don't be paying attention, or you know what I'm saying? And so I was getting bullied off the fact that you're not wearing your natural hair, you don't like being Black, Black girl, nappy hair, like all this stuff. I was getting bullied off of that standpoint. So now it made me think, like, as a Black female, like, how am I even supposed to act when I want to wear my natural hair, but I don't have it? And then the yoga challenge. You know about the yoga challenge?
No, what is that?
Oh my gosh, that was during high school. They would like pull off your wig or a ponytail or yank on your ponytail.
I didn't.
See,
I never know.
No, that was during, like, it was the Vine time, and I would be, like, running to my principal's office, just sitting there eating lunch with her, because I did not want to go out. And then they, like, yanked my... None of that. So it was definitely trying time.
That would have been a day my mom would come to that school because of me. I'm telling you.
I was gluing my hair.
Like, literally. And so even with that, like, did you have friends in high school that you like confide in regards to like what it was that you were dealing with, or that was just kind of something you kept to yourself?
Oh, so kept to myself.
Oh, God.
I probably so kept it to myself. I forgot some days I had it.
Well, yeah, because you had
it was just
so
like
used to it,
it was a no-no. Like I would not tell not one person. Not one person. I think the worst ever like thoughts I would have being in high school and being on those dance teams is like when we had days that we had our hair down and stuff. They would be scared to like know the choreo, but I would be scared that my wig would come off. I'm over here, we doing prayer. I'm like, God, give me that everlasting glue.
Yeah,
because when I go on that court, I don't want no one to know. So that was something that I kept in. Not one of my coaches, nobody knew.
And so how was that for you, like, wanting to dance and then knowing the process? Because, like, if you are a dancer, sometimes we get excited and we get the whipping that hair. Like, things happen to where wigs comes off, extensions come out. So, like, even how was that for you? Even, like, okay, I want to dance, but then I got this going on. And so, like, I'm scared. Like, how was that process for you?
I felt like I was always being held back from my full potential because I couldn't show them, Lena, why are you going back? It doesn't look like you're going full out. Let's, especially being an NBA dancer.
Oh yeah, they
all
always say
your
full
choreo
out.
is hair choreo. Like everything is hair, everything is this. So like I would make sure I would go home. My night prep would be sewing my band a little bit more tighter to my scalp to where I could do this trick. Or sometimes I'm like going to the studio the day before, doing arrows, doing tricks to make sure that my wig won't come off.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that they define us by our hair, like they really, really do. As women, it just be hair. And sometimes we grow emotionally attached to our hair because, let me tell you, in high school, because I danced, I was a majorette. And so in high school, for me, my hair was my everything. Like, I loved my fresh roller wrap on Fridays, game days. I remember I used to go to the shop. My sister used to have to do me a fresh roller wrap. Like, I was so in love with my hair to where it's like some days when it rained, we used to have to wear, I don't know if you're familiar with the donuts.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the bun. And I used to hate it so much. And I used to feel like our dance coach would make us wear those just to punish us because she knew we hated them so much. So I know it because it's just like, even with majorette there, I was telling you like, whip your hair, you got to move your hair. And again, we grow emotionally attached. I didn't cut my hair probably until I was probably like, maybe 22, 23. I'm not attached to it anymore, but as you know, I felt like my hair was my everything. Like my hair made me. And so I know that feeling of like, as being women, you know, just being attached to our hair. And then it's kind of like you get to a point where it's like, nah, I don't have my hair. So I literally have to love me whole. I have to love myself authentically. And I want to say, by the way, girl, you are gorgeous. Like, let me tell you something. The black women, when the pixie cuts, we be rocking it. But it's something about a black woman that can just go bald, baby. That's when you know you're beautiful. And that's why I was sitting there. I'm just saying, girl, that's why I was sitting there looking at you, because I'm like, you are really naturally beautiful.
Thank you
with
so
the
much.
bald look. So that's why, we could do a lot. Like, black women, literally, we could pull off a lot. Like, it's just something about a black woman. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely want to say that. And I did see on your, on your social media now that you are doing something with, little girls who struggle with alopecia, because I know for little girls at that age, that can be a lot. As an adult, we have a better understanding.
Right.
We look at things different, but for a child, like that can be a lot on a child. So how was that? Like, how did that come about with you working with little girls, just encouraging them, motivating them to love yourself, be yourself regardless of what it is that you have going on. So how did that come about?
I would say I had reached out to one of the girls on Instagram, and then I didn't even know. The whole time, I never knew that Alopecia Awareness Month was September.
Oh, okay.
So, like, let that even be known. I had my birthday, and then I had alopecia for 19 years, my whole life, and then didn't even know Alopecia Month was September. So some of the girls got together, little girls, and I wanted to really talk to them because that's the same age gap I lost my hair. They're like around 7, 10, and 12. I was like, yep, this is the group I want to cater to now. And so God led me to have a conference with them back in Baltimore last month, not even. And so I was able to talk with them, have a girl talk, telling them that sometimes our moms, especially the moms have hair and the girls don't, the moms are like, stand up for yourself when people are bullying you. Yes, but also take that as a moment to teach them. Because a lot of times people are bullying you because they don't know what's going on.
They're uneducated.
So they're saying, cancer girl. No, say, baby, don't got cancer. But I'm going to tell you that alopecia is an autoimmune disease that mistakenly attacks your hair follicles. Boom. Now, if you go that route and you teach them, I'm sure they won't bully you off of that no more. Right. Them knowing. But they do. That's when you can stand up for yourself. So I've been trying to teach them different routes, and me still being a little bit younger instead of having a completely old person talking to them, it's like easier to have someone that's like right up there.
Yeah, they feel like they could really, really relate to. Yes. And I love that because, like you said, a lot of times with kids, and we do, parents be like, don't let anybody bully you, you better fight. But a lot of times bullying come from people who are just they're just uneducated. You just don't know what's going on. So let me explain to you what's going on. But then, however, once I explain to you and you keep attacking me, then now we have a problem. And so definitely I understand it, and I really do think it is amazing what you're doing in regards to pouring into the the girls, just teaching them to love themselves, because it starts with you. I always tell people, you have to treat yourself how you want people to treat you. You have to love yourself the way you want people to love you, period. That's in life. That's with anything. You're your biggest supporter. You are your biggest encourager. You are your biggest motivator. Like, invest in you and love you. And so I'm definitely, girl, you're just so gorgeous. I just want to tell you that. Like, you are just so gorgeous. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I love this. And I actually, on your TikTok, I seen it. I think I seen your book, or I don't know if it would. I think you were doing an interview in regards to your book.
Okay. On the news. No?
Yeah, on the news. And then I seen it and I was like, you know, you was just talking about your alopecia and how you struggled with it, and like, how was that overcoming for you? So for the moment, you was like, okay, I'm about to just walk in my truth. How did mom like perceive it? Like, how was mom with it?
My mom and my dad were like, you sure? You sure? Because I told them I would never tell nobody until after college. And the crazy thing, the closer you get to God, is the closer that he will like he will mature you in different ways. So I was asking God in that series, I was like, God, I want to know my true identity in you. What is my identity? Like, I was just literally just desperate for that. And so once I was able to be like, wait, who am I really living for? That moment clicked. I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not hiding no more. And they were like, oh, like, they were kind of like, you know, they were just nervous for me.
I think it was just more so out of fear, because again, the world can be so cool.
How
people can be so evil.
I didn't know what life would look like. Still to this day, I did not know what life would look like without my hair. So my parents, they were like, we're with you. We fully support you, but just know what's out there. And so from there, I was like, whatever I did, they were right on it. And then they came to when I share my testimony, they were here. So
do you have siblings?
Yes, I have my sister, and my sister has my amazing nephew. But
and so you're the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the youngest. So we're 2 years apart.
How did big sisters they get?
She was like, wow. Like, just imagine growing up with someone, and I always compared myself to my sister in a way when it came to hair. Any type of hairstyle she had, I wanted, and so
little sisters,
of
course.
So she was always. I did not know. She hid a lot from me, a lot, because she didn't want me to feel no type of way or no slight. So she would say, like, when my hair fell off in dance a long time ago, it was like a long, long time ago, people were coming to her asking her if I had cancer. She kept all those conversations within, and she wrote it down, and then to protect me. So when I was writing my book and I was asking for her point of view, I was like, whoa, you did not tell me any of that. So my sister even, like, opened herself and bloomed in a way that I didn't even knew existed.
Yeah, because I mean, as siblings, like, a lot of times when things affect your siblings, it affects you.
Like,
it plays on you. Like, when your siblings are going through and all of that, it definitely plays on you. And a lot of times, because I'm the youngest of 6, and yeah, girl, I am. I'm the youngest, y'all. And so it's like, as my older siblings, it's a lot of times, I'm grown now, but it's a lot of times they do things and they react, and it just be out of trying to protect my sibling. Because again, like, what affects a sibling, it would affect you, it would play on you. And so in regards to that, was she in school with you?
She was, since we're 2 years apart. Lord, let me do my math right. When I was a sophomore, she was a senior. Yeah, something like that.
And so how was that process for her, like, being a senior? It's like, oh, I'm about to get out of here. I still got my little sister.
She always looked out for me in a way. She made the friends, so when I got there, it would be a little bit easier. But we also were on 2 different sides of, like, friend groups. I was on the pom team, she was on the track team. So you already know how that kind of friend would look like. And so we were always there for each other. It was cool. But I still I didn't want no one to know. So I was still holding that battle to myself. If someone were to talk about my hair, I would want to stand up for myself and not my sister, because she didn't know what to say at that point.
Right.
She didn't know.
And so did you ever have a moment where you were, like, in the middle of a routine or something like that and your hair came out?
Oh my gosh. I was around 7 years old. I was really excited to do this trick in front of probably 30 girls at my dance studio that I grew up at. And I knew my hair was loose, but so I sat down and told my teacher I had a headache, sat there, got up, because she was like, Layna, can you show this trick real quick? I got up, did my straight scorpion. It's this thing when you, like, grab your foot from behind you and then straighten it. I leaned my head back, my wig came off. She, like, hurry up and put it on. And I just ran outside, and I was like, all my friends are going to hate me. I called my mom. They showed up. It was a whole big thing. And then from there, those girls, we never talked about anything else again, like about the hair situation.
Yeah.
So it's not even until next week where I'm going to talk to them about, did y'all ever know, like, what y'all think? But I totally thought my friends were never going to talk to me again. It was not going to be the same. Something did shift, though. My mom had to tell them, like, here's what she has, but she's going to beat this. Like, don't talk about it. So that was terrible.
So
like,
did your dance coach know, like, before it happened?
No one knew before it happened. When it happened, we had to address it to the teachers.
Right.
But it wasn't like they re-brought it up, but I definitely felt like people were tiptoeing around me now. So that was that shift was a really hard shift. But
and so I was going to say, how was that for you, like, knowing now because they're aware, and so now it's like, people are going to treat me different. They're going to look at me different. Like, how was that?
It felt like I lost all my friends, or I lost something in me, like something in me left. So then I covered that because no one knew. It felt like everyone just forgot, but sorry to like run it back. So like now that I told my story, oh my gosh, like I thought I was gonna lose all my friends. Even my church friends were like, girl, what?
Really,
but they were like, I thought I was gonna lose everybody because I didn't even know if I was gonna even lose myself in that moment, because this is a whole new air.
Yeah.
I never walked outside with no hair till now.
Right.
So there wasn't no, I'd done this before. No, my wig came off and I put it right back on. There was no walking outside without a wig.
Yeah, and so definitely that, like, your story is so amazing. I'm just so interested. Girl, you're educating me. And so you said you were first diagnosed with it at 3?
Yes, so they thought, and I didn't even know this until, again, my parents were telling their point of views in the book. But my mom was saying that they actually thought it was cancer. So for 2 to 3 weeks, they didn't tell her whether it was cancer or not. So imagine as a mother.
Yeah.
Because they were like, your daughter's losing her hair in some spots. We don't know because she's so young. So at 3 years old, they were taking blood tests of me. Like, I did not know any of that.
Your mind, that would be like the first thing your mind goes to.
Yeah, they're like, the doctor said it though.
Yeah, right.
So my parents were like, my mom was like, first of all, we rebuked that, but we're going to all be in prayer. And so then they told her that it was alopecia areata. That's when you lose your hair in certain spots. And then I got diagnosed with alopecia totalis, is when you lose just your head. But then it was weird because then I had alopecia universals, which means you lose all your hair, like facial hair and everything. And so that's when I started using my eyebrows. But then I gained some of my eyebrows back, so that led me to alopecia totalis.
Yeah, so see, I didn't even know it was like different
there's different stages.
And a lot of times when we think about alopecia, we always think about it and say only older people can have alopecia, only older people suffer from
rare
alopecia. But to know, like, it can affect anyone, it can play on anyone. And so you said you lost all your hair at 7.
7.
And so what was that like? Like, you just wake up one day, like, did you see it on a pillow? Like, what was that like?
I felt like, because I was seeing my hair, like, fall out and stuff, so I thought I was getting my hair back because I was doing that. So when all my hair fully left the chat, I was like, oh no, this can't be it. But my dad, we started playing more games, vitamin games. So we'll go downstairs, rest downstairs in the morning, try to take as many vitamins as we needed. I had to go through acid treatment at 7 years old, to where they put acid on your head to try to wake up the hair follicles, and then they would take a needle and rub it to see if they can wake them up. And that was the worst pain ever. It was so bad. The doctors were wearing masks and everything to put it on my head. Like, if they don't even trust their own hands with the acid. And then needling on my head. And that was probably the worst thing. So going through all that and then still having a little bit of hope and then not getting my hair back, I was like, I don't know what to do. My parents felt hopeless. There wasn't like anybody that we can go to for hair. Like, it was just nothing besides wigs.
Yeah, and I was about to ask, like, when did you get, or when did your parents or you guys together get to a point to be like, okay, this is it, we're not doing no more treatment. Like, I'm not taking my child through this anymore. At this point, we're going to just have to teach her how to live with this and how to love herself. And whenever she's ready to come out with her story, then she'll come out. Like, what was that like?
I got to a point where I was like, actually, I want to not have hair. I got to a point, I think it was like, I had to be around like 11 years old. I was like, I had a dream, and my mom wrote it down, which is amazing. It was a dream, And I said, one day I want to be able to tell my church about this testimony and other people to help other girls that are dealing with it like me.
Yeah.
But I was like, but for right now, I'm still keeping it by
Yeah.
myself.
I mean, yeah.
And so that's what I did. But yeah, at that moment, I was like, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, like I'm just dealing with it.
Yeah.
And so you did say now you are at LSU. You dance for the Pelicans. Did you ever think about dancing for LSU? Yeah, I know. I want to ask.
She had to
I was
ask.
going to say.
So
I know their majorette is a little different from what your typical black girl would see for a majorette. I'm just saying. But yeah, I just wanted to ask.
Yes. LSU's dance team, the Tiger Girls, was literally my dream. My dream since I was a sophomore in high school, maybe even earlier. And so I trained. That's all I did was train for that. And so I got to go to a clinic my senior year of high school. The coaches talked to me. I thought I was going to go. We even made a group chat with the black girls that were going to be on the team. The recruitment process was going well. And then just like that, in the midst of all that, I got cut. But I was the only girl that was in that group that got cut. So that me and the girl that were supposed to roommate, we already had our roommates picked. We just ended up roommating with each other. But I think that was the hardest thing. So I was like, okay, I could take one hit and then go in the gym in my freshman year and do it all over again. And I was like, I'm going to start a Bible study on top of that at my school to see where I'm really going to go. Didn't make it that second time. And I was like, this is horrible. Like, I literally felt distraught because living with the girl with her uniforms, it was tough. But God pulled me through, and eventually it was on the pills. So I still love the girls, though. We still cool.
Yeah. At that time, were you still into the wigs or?
Oh yeah, I was wearing wigs literally until 5 months
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
So they wasn't aware. Oh,
they
right,
wasn't.
You did say that. Okay.
No,
so
cool.
I was about to say something if they was aware, but I ain't gonna
No,
say.
no.
I was gonna
Love
say,
y'all.
I ain't gonna say anything. Yeah, and so this was definitely a great conversation.
Yes.
And for people who don't know about it, I was about to close, but Dre has a question. Go ahead, Dre.
I just wanted to ask from a standpoint of dating and things like that. I'm not speaking on the.
Hold up, because I'm the host. I didn't think of that question.
Like now, like as a grown woman, like do you still feel, even like dealing with guys in your age group, that it's some resistance there, or that it's like still like kind of superficial? Just kind of touch on that a little.
So are you gonna repeat the question? I'm just gonna like go from there.
He gonna put it in there, yeah.
Okay.
Dre just put it in there. Okay, you guys, if you didn't know, Dre asked the question with it being that she's now, more open and out and about, with her alopecia dating. How is dating like for you with that? Because some guys are mature. Not a lot of them. It's like a handful of them that's mature enough to handle that. So how is dating for you?
Dating is probably the hardest thing for me right now because I'm so fragile right now that I don't know, do I really like this person, or is this because I'm thinking that this is the only person that's going to ever like me with no hair? And I think it was the hardest because I'm still in this mode of like loving myself without hair. I have my moments to where I look at myself and I'm like, girl, you look cute. And then some of them I'm like, girl, bald head, let's put a wig on. And so I'm still dealing with those insecurities. So dating is like, I just have to know if the person like really likes, it just depends. Like I have to really pray on it, but it's definitely been a challenge for me right now, just not knowing if it's genuine or you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, if I was a guy, I'd take a knock at you. I'm just saying, you're gorgeous, girl. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, but no, seriously, because like I said, I don't know, sometimes some guys, some of them are mature enough to handle that, and then some of them just be like, man, it's hair, like, because like I said, you have a lot of guys who they be loving like the women and the pixie cut. I know this is different.
The long afro.
Right.
And so now that I have a lot of guy friends in high school, so I was hearing all their conversations about, I want a girl that's going to have a big fro, big afro, curly, natural black woman. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all talking about all hair, and I don't have hair. So how do I go to your liking without having hair?
Yeah.
And so now I'm really just drawing myself back and praying to God that He will bring me someone that
gotcha.
will love me for who I am.
And so, are you like actively dating, or is just like right now in the season, I'm just gonna focus on me? Because I know you would say you're still. Sometimes you have your moments when you're like, girl, you are gorgeous, and then sometimes you have your moment when you're like, I don't really know. And so, even with that, like finding a partner who's mature enough to handle that, to where they can speak life life into you in your moments when you don't feel your best, or when you don't feel beautiful. I totally understand. So right now, basically, this is just kind of a season for you too. It's like, okay, I'm just focusing on me, pouring into me. When God send them, or it's like, okay, I'm kind of actively looking,
I'm just
not
open.
Looking,
Right.
You're not closed off. Yeah,
okay. I'm not closed off to anything, but I just would say I know when I know. Like, if a person comes, like, God, God would just say, like, yes.
It's going to be your person.
It'll be my person. So right now I'm just like, I didn't hear it with the last one. So,
girl,
been out there.
We've all been there, like.
I hear it.
I mean,
we
y'all be there, Sometimes we be trying to make ourselves hear something
did I hear it?
Yeah. I totally understand.
No, we're better off being close friends. But right now, it's like, I'm open. Now, if I hear the voice of God saying, go to see your man, then I'm not.
Yeah. Hey. I think we all be like that, like
door open.
Tell us if he,
wide open.
Tell us if he's the one, But like I said, sometimes we be like,
yes.
So
I love this.
Also too, and I'm gonna shut up. After
No.
You know how the Bible speaks of like dying to yourself, dying to your flesh, and so it's easy. I feel like it's so easy for people who don't have outward evidence of a problem or an issue to talk about, I've crucified my flesh, Lord, I'm casting it all on you. But just talk about like when it's something that people notice about you on the outward, how hard it is to not be vain, or like, to kind of not get, because it's easy to say, don't get caught up on this, or don't be superficial, or my identity is in Christ, until you're the one that you're in the mirror struggling with what you see. Just kind of
like you're talking about, if I'm trying to like take your question and then like ring it over.
I think what Dre is saying a lot of times, I think this is what Dre is saying, but like a lot of times, because we say we live in this life, we walk in this life with Christ, and God teaches us you got to love yourself whole. Like, you got to, if you're going to have an identity in me, you got to love yourself whole and authentically. But a lot of times as Christians, sometimes we do come off as if we don't have weak moments, or we don't have moments to where we are questioning our identity, or we're questioning who we are in Christ. So I think he's just talking about more so from, that's what you're talking about, right, Dre? Am I saying right? Okay.
Because it's easy, like if you suffer with self-esteem,
or
you suffer with something internally, it's easy.
You can hide it, you can mask it,
because you can still make up your face,
or
you go put on some Jordans, and, a Supreme sweatshirt and hide it. But when you have outward evidence of what you're dealing with, like how much
the
more
approach,
to be able to.
I would say that, and that was a question I was always asking myself internally, like, dang, after this testimony, am I gonna be saying, like, I have no choice, like, I have no option but to show who I really am. And so I always just thank God, like, I get it way easier for people just to see the full me firsthand. There wasn't no, I'm gonna date this person and not let them know about alopecia, and then boom, alopecia, do you like me or not? It's not none of that. It's like, no, I'm straight going in with, this is who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not changing who I am. This is what God made me. I am who God says I am, and then boom. But it's not always that easy, so I don't want that to be going like that. I am still figuring out pieces and puzzles on the way that how God sees me. It's a learning process. I'm learning every day. God, you see me as this. I'm not defined by my bald head, even though it helps me to become the person I am today, but it's not who I like. You get what I'm trying to say? And so it's definitely a work in progress. And then even that one scripture, I think it's in Ephesians, when God's telling you to take off the old and put on the new that's created in Christ Jesus. Like, that's that mentality I have right now. Like, take off the old and put on a new. So whether that's me, my thought process, thinking that I can't get friends because I have no hair, that's my thought process of just taking off the old and then putting on the new, telling myself that, like, God made me for this. I'm anointed for this. I'll triumph over this. Like, God maybe even changed the acronyms of alopecia to talus. I'm anointed for this. I'm going to triumph through this. And then, like, he just gave me so many other things to where I have no choice but to just walk in my truth. That's it.
Yeah, and I love that. And I just definitely want to say again, girl, you are gorgeous.
Thank you.
You are
thank
really,
you so
gorgeous.
much.
And I just want to say thank you so much for your strength to just sit here and motivate and to be open, because this is not easy for a lot of women. We have a lot of women who may be suffering with alopecia, and they don't even know how to come out or how to talk about it. But I pray that when they watch this episode today and that they hear your story, this will give them the push, the motivation, the encouragement that they need to walk and to live in their truth and to love them wholeheartedly. I love what you're doing. And I pray that God is going to reward you for your faithfulness, because even it's the fact that you are even taking your alopecia and what it is that you're struggling with, the fact that you're still, okay, I'm going to be bold about this, I'm going to be vocal about this, but then I'm going to still bring you guys into Christ. I'm going to still, you know, give it, I'm going to still let you guys know of how God has been with me through this season. And I always tell people, a lot of times we question God and we be like, man, why I got to deal with this stuff? Why I got to do this stuff? Why I got to struggle with this? But I tell people all the time that a lot of times God is not going to, he's always going to give the testimony to the people that he know that can handle it. So you may feel like, or you had your moments when you were weak, or you felt like, man, God, I can't do this. Why me? But now just looking at you and to just seeing you in this light, why not you? Because you're built for it. He built you for it. He assigned you for this, and this is okay. And so I just want to tell you thank you so much for coming to Look Who's Talking podcast. I am just so excited for them to see this and to hear your story. And so I always have my guests before I close, I be like, can y'all, because I'm always like encouraging them and closing them out, but when I get guests, I be wanting my guests to encourage my viewers. So can you just talk to the little girls, the grown women that still have the little girls in them that are struggling or maybe struggling or want to come out and tell their story but don't know how? Can you just encourage them?
Yes. First, I want to encourage you. Thank you so much for even inviting me to this podcast,
welcome.
but also like just trusting in God through this process. Like sometimes God tells the word and we don't really always go for it, but like you just going in for it.
Girl,
and so
I'm
for
trying.
that, I'm just
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
then for you guys, I would say ask yourself who you're really living for. Like, that's the question. Who are you really living for? If you're living for God or you're living for yourself. Because that's going to help you decide, okay, I'm a cut out my old ways of thinking, my old habits. All of that is going to come in with that. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to live for God and not care about what anybody else has to say, or I'm going to live for me? And don't be selfish with it. Be honest. And so once you give God your full yes, watch doors open. You're going to be like, how did I even get here? I'm asking myself that. So,
yeah. And so I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into Look Who's Talking podcast today. Here with my girl, Layna. You know, before I close, I always tell you guys I want you to do 3 things, and that is spread love, encourage healing, and embrace vulnerability. This may be the season for you to where you are in a season to where you're saying, God, I want to live in my truth. I want to be who it is that you have called me to be. I want to be who it is that you have destined me to be. Even it may not even look like the way that I want it to look, but God, I know that you ordained it and you have appointed me for this. And so whether it be in my season of trial or triumph, but God, I know you appointed me for it. And so I'm ready to walk into my season. So I just want to let you guys know, again, thank you so much for tuning into Look Who's Talking podcast. Make sure you do me a favor and click that like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. And also, I want you guys to go and follow Layna on social media. Get a copy of her book so you can really walk this journey with her. Tell them how they can purchase the book.
You can purchase it through my website, Kalayna Walker. And then also, if you go to my Instagram, that link in the bio is going to be all right there. And then eventually it's going to be on Amazon. So just keep your eyes on
speaking it into existence.
Yep. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Tell them your Instagram handle.
Layna.Walker. So Layna.Walker. And the same thing for TikTok and Instagram.
So make sure you guys go and check it out. And again, thank you guys for tuning into the Cool Stocking Podcast. What I always tell y'all, it takes two people to have a conversation. I can't have a conversation if you don't have a conversation with me. So I will see you guys again on next week's episode. Brand new, Cool Stocking Podcast. Deuces.
Check it out.
Catch y'all.